Good evening on ZSR2, welcome to Zelda Speedruns 2, and welcome to the ALttPR Crossworld Keysanity tournament. Already winners bracket round number 4, NaMeFaKeR versus HauntedQuest. And yes, my name is Tresker, and yes, I can do 2 streams at a time. Yes, I can split myself in half. I'm amazing. Not as amazing as my fellow commentator though, so let's hear his lovely voice. Hey Rezi, what's up?
Hello everybody, I'm Recidador, and we're here for another edition of Crossworld Keysanity, featuring, as stated before, NaMeFaKeR, seed number 54, and HauntedQuest, seed number 38. HauntedQuest took down Lin and Actiboker to get where he is. NaMeFaKeR took down In the Name of DT and SAGTG, all of those pretty. And we're off to the races. I actually did not see what was in Link's house because I was glancing at the brackets.
It was just a piece of heart.
Okay, I was gonna say, don't see anything on the tracker. We're gonna get a castle start from HauntedQuest, which is gonna get him a tree pull and the ability to check a drop down over here, and as well as an entrance. Depending on, the tree pull is just 10 arrows to start with, not too great. And NaMeFaKeR is going to go to the lake area, finds just some fairies in the first entrance, junk on the Hylia Island, and blind set, but he doesn't have any bombs, which kind of sucks. He does have 4 chances to get some here, though. Lack of bombs and money is one reason why a lot of runners actually like to start out hula-handing, because it gives them the ability to buy bombs early and makes resources less of a... So, no bombs to get the back of the hut, but we did find a glove and a Palace of Darkness key, so not a total wash on NaMeFaKER's side. Pretty...
So let's see if this seed actually can compete with the other one on ZSR1 right now, where we had glove, hammer, mirror, and pearl in 5 minutes. So
kind of rare for Crossworld Keysanity, but you never know. NaMeFaKeR going back with a bomb now that he got from somewhere. HauntedQuest, meanwhile, doing a bit of a south route and getting some bombs from the 50-50 bushes. NaMeFaKeR finding out that he probably could have skipped that for... Oh, he got it from the rocket in front of Link's house, didn't he? That was actually pretty... And speaking of bombs, HauntedQuest found himself a great bomb farming cave, as well as an item cave that you can mark off. Just a piece of heart. We're getting a sanctuary start from NaMeFaKeR. We haven't seen where this ended up yet. Okay, so just in the fairy drop, which actually leads to a completely free hula-hand setup, but NaMeFaKeR not going to do that. And we are going to get a actual sanctuary check, which is going to be the Kakariko Well, and we do have a glove for that already, so that's fortunate. It's 5 more items we can get. Well, 4 actually, because we still don't have any bombs. At least not on NaMeFaKER's side. HauntedQuest not finding much below the Kakariko area, except for the bomb farming situation. In the well, we have the Big Key of Ice Palace and the boots, so that's pretty great, especially because you're right next to a couple of boot spots. Also a sewers key, which is not really super relevant. We did see a small key in the lumberjack drop in the magic bat normal spot, which is blocked by the hammer. NaMeFaKeR immediately remembering that you can dash right into this wall and you don't need bombs, so that's 3 more items you could...
A question about this actually: can you get or break the wall in the well using boots?
You cannot, no.
Aww, that's terrible.
Got a big key to Thieves Town in our one of our 2 free item spots in Kakariko, in the back of the tavern. I don't think I've seen any interesting entrances so far, but he hasn't really checked a lot of them. Bonkrok's check on NaMeFaKeR's side with these recently acquired boots. This is going to be one of 2 entrances he can get to. Gonna find Spectacle Rock, which is an item and a connector. He may not want to do the connector just yet, but then again, it's also easy to get back here from where he was, so he may just go ahead and at least scout this. Speaking of connectors, we have the East Death Mountain Ferry on HauntedQuest. All right, Palace of Darkness in Kakariko. That is going to be worth 1 item right now. Can't do anything else in here unless you can Mimic Clip, which I don't think HauntedQuest can. And NaMeFaKeR finding a slightly faster way to desert by a way of exiting the Spectacle Rock connector, and finds his way to Mini Moldorm, but does not have any bombs or weapons still. So that is going to be something he's going to want to come back to. This is one reason why a lot of people like to resource hunt sooner rather than later, because bombs can be vital for your early game because you may not get a weapon. Looks like NaMeFaKeR is going to check the bonk rocks below Link's house, and then we'll see if he wants to finally make his way to Kakariko or keep looking around outside. He finally found himself some bombs, so he may also want to chase Mini Moldorm Cave, but that is a little ways out of your... He could end up finding a sword or something somewhere if he were to go to Kakariko. Looks like he's going to go south. And it looks like we found a castle tower key in the thief drop, which was in the Kakariko well. And Super Bunny Cave, which is 2 items and a connector. Not necessarily. And we found our way to town. NaMeFaKeR kind of lucking out on that connector because now he knows he can get back to town fairly easy anytime he wants to, just by saving and quitting to Link's house. Palace of Darkness, and I did not catch the first 5-6 crystal from the bomb shop. Ice Palace, okay. Alright, so HauntedQuest may end up finding Kakariko well before he has a glove to get in there, which would be slightly unfortunate. Meanwhile, NaMeFaKeR gonna check these 2 items for us here at Super Bunny. Nothing really to write home about, but we do get to see where this connector goes. They don't have a Moon Pearl, so checking connectors this early may spit them out somewhere they can't really do anything with, but it is fairly easy to get back to where they were. And we found the Turtle Rock Ledge. We don't have a mirror yet, so this is not super helpful, especially given that we also found Paradox, and we don't have a Moon Pearl or a mirror to break into that side of the Paradox Cave. Alright, we got the Back of Desert and Lost Woods. Cannot do anything with that at all right now, so it's just mainly for later knowledge. And what do we have in the Lumberjack? We have Ganon at the Lumberjack, so this is an Aghanim's Tower seed. You must defeat Aghanim's Tower. We also found Mire in The dam, which you can get into right now, but there is no weapon to kill the Wizrobes as far as we've seen. So they can get in there and get some items, but they're going to need to find a weapon first that is not bombs, because you cannot bomb. We are going to get a recheck of this mini Moldorm cave here now that we've got some bombs. Okay, so we have Flippers and Quake. NaMeFaKeR keeps finding some interesting things here. Also, a nice refill on his bombs for his trouble. He's going to be able to check the Witch's Hut a lot easier now with those Flippers, but looks like first he's going to go the other way. Yeah, he still has the one item in the back of the Kakariko well to get. He's doing a little bit of doubling back on his side, but so far it hasn't hurt him too bad. Meanwhile, HauntedQuest going to find his way to Turtle Rock Ledge, and again, without the Moon Pearl, not going to be able to do, or the Mirror, not going to be able to do a heck of a lot of. We'll see where he wants to go next. NaMeFaKeR, meanwhile, looks like he may be doing a North Dark World or North Light World loop here. Sorry, he didn't get too far along. Going to soon get the news that he is going to have to defeat Aghanim 1 for the Lumberjack to get. I believe that's correct on the sprite for HauntedQuest. The HauntedQuest not being able to find these gloves yet has left him unable to check the entrance that NaMeFaKeR just checked, but it's just a useless entrance. And HauntedQuest actually going to go South Shore without gloves, which is kind of bad if he goes all the way, because he's going to orphan an entrance that he could definitely get to right. But he does find the dam. That may take him in the other direction. All right, HauntedQuest NaMeFaKeR making his way through the forest. I don't recall if he 100% cleared Kakariko yet. I don't think he did the South Kakariko for sure. HauntedQuest is being drawn back left by the dam, so that could be helpful for him because he won't. There's nothing under the one rock over there, so it's nothing he needs to worry about. Ooh, and he found the Moon Pearl. So both of our runners finding some value here, and the other one hasn't. So we do have access to a few connectors and a pretty free Moon Pearl, so might be able to get to a good chunk of the Dark World depending on where some of these. Looks like NaMeFaKeR may be going up to check the Witch's Hut and finally find Sanctuary, which I don't think he has yet. Or HauntedQuest. I think I keep reversing them, sorry. NaMeFaKeR finding the bomb shop and did not actually talk to the guy for the information, which is interesting. HauntedQuest finding the Sanctuary finally. Don't believe there was anything really interesting in the back of Escape. And NaMeFaKeR almost done with his circuit of Kakariko. We'll see where he wants to go next. He has glows and flippers, so he has some incentive to go South Shore and find the dam and the Moon Pearl pretty fast. HauntedQuest, meanwhile, needs to go to the blind side next to Link's house before he can start really breaking this seat open. NaMeFaKeR getting his big key to Thieves Town. Meanwhile, HauntedQuest is going to give us a check we have yet to see, which is the Witch's Hut. Finding C-shaped house. We'll see what he might find over here. Just a piece of heart, so not too great. Alright, NaMeFaKeR finding that East Death Mountain Ferry connector, not electing to take it so far because he still has a few things to check here in the village. Meanwhile, HauntedQuest is finally going towards those glows, so hopefully that directs him to Kakariko well before too long as well. NaMeFaKeR actually coming to Palace of Darkness with that one key that we did not have on HauntedQuest side, so we got 2 more items we could see in here that we did not see on HauntedQuest side. HauntedQuest will save a little bit of time and not having to come back here to Blind's Hut, but he's also gone a couple of more minutes without boots, so it's pretty much a... Alright, Palace of Darkness, first chest is going to be just a map of Ganon's Tower, the most useless map you can ever... And just a heart container, so overall no value in Palace of Darkness for the first 3 chests at least. Looks like HauntedQuest is going to go ahead and go to the eastern area. We also haven't seen this on either. Hammer House in Village of Outcasts being a useless entrance, we find out from NaMeFaKeR checking a hint in Palace of Darkness. So NaMeFaKeR's got a few more entrances to check in the south of Kakariko here. Meanwhile, HauntedQuest has 3 entrances here in the eastern area. Could possibly find a connector and go through it since he does have the Moon Pearl. Finds a bottle of blue potion, so that'll open up Sick Kid if he finds it. If he does find a connector and go through it, he'll end up not having boots for a little while, so that would be a little disappointing for him. Alright, so 1 more entrance in the eastern area. Thus far, we haven't found anything great. NaMeFaKeR getting his castle tower key. Yeah, Smiths were found, but they're pretty far away from actually doing anything about that at the moment. Well, I guess they're technically only 1 glove away, but... they have a lot of entrances before they're just going to run straight to the Smiths. Alright, looks like HauntedQuest is going to go back to town. I'm not sure what he left over here. Maybe to check a connector since he has the Moon Pearl. There are a couple he could choose from. And get the upgraded money from the bottle vendor. I totally missed what was on the race game. Sword, that's interesting. No particular way to get that right now, but something to keep in mind at least. Meanwhile, HauntedQuest is taking that Moon Pearl and turning it into a connector check here. Looks like NaMeFaKeR are actually going to do the same thing. So HauntedQuest is doing this without boots, but NaMeFaKeR is doing it without Moon Pearl. So both of them kind of missing a helpful piece of the puzzle by pursuing this connector at this particular time. Looks like NaMeFaKeR is going to continue on, which is actually going to cost him a little bit of time later on, or a little bit of time as far as checking things. He can mark a couple things off his list as far as being useless, but he won't be able to actually check any of it. So if he finds anything good, he'll have to remember to come back to it later, so he'll be doing a little bit of doubling. This is one of the dangers of pursuing connectors before you clear out the light world, because you could leave a very easy to find Moon Pearl behind and end up wasting a lot of time as a bunny that you did not need to. So far, there hasn't been much of consequence in the northern Dark World, but there is Village of Outcasts with a couple things that he could check that he may end up having to recheck later. All right, just to shop on this one, there's only one more entrance in the actual Village of Outcasts that NaMeFaKeR can check with the Moon Pearl, and then he would have to go further south and do a lot of walking to check more entrances. Meanwhile, it looks like HauntedQuest is going to go straight to Skullwood. NaMeFaKeR did find a connector here, so this could take him somewhere interesting. Well, he found a way to the Palace of Darkness area, but again, no Moon Pearl, so not super useful. He is going to continue his checks of entrances that he can actually reach. He's going to have to isolate the pod entrance, though, at this point, because he does not have this Moon Pearl, so he cannot get to Kiki. Also, finding Spike Cave, he's not going to be able to do that. He wouldn't be able to do that even if he had the Moon. He can get one item on the pyramid in logic, at least. Finds the chess game. That's going to be something he's going to have to leave for later. So that's going to be a doubling up of that. And unfortunately, since he's doing this in the Dark World without the Pearl, he's not getting any benefit from his boots either. Looks like HauntedQuest found the crappy version of Skullwoods where you could get trapped, so he's going to leave it for now and come back later. Alright, NaMeFaKeR has come to the end of the usefulness of his route here. So he may go ahead and start cleaning up some of the light world stuff, and then he will probably find his pearl and regret that trek that he just took. However, it looks like he's going to do the eastern area before he does the south shore. Don't believe there was much in the eastern area. HauntedQuest finding his way to the Palace of Darkness area via the connector, but it looks like he wants to pursue the south route of the Dark World instead. There are a couple more entrances down here, and he can get 2 guaranteed items in the Dig Game and the Stumpy. Finding Hyrule Castle. He doesn't have the key for this, but we do know where it is, and it is in logic to get all 3 items out of it. Hyrule Castle also being a connector that gives them 2 more potential avenues to other parts of the world. Not quite getting the second bomb of this guard. Gets it on the 3rd try. So the first item in the castle was nothing. We do still have NaMeFaKeR unfortunately taking a death before he can get all the way to the Flute 5 spots. So that's another entrance that he's kind of isolated at this point. He's got boots, so it's not terrible to get back to, but it is very. Looks like HauntedQuest struggling a little bit with the bomb strats in the castle here, but gets it on the second try. Looks like NaMeFaKeR's finally going to turn those flippers into a few checks. Oh, blue mail out of HauntedQuest side. That's not too bad. Gonna get ourselves a hobo check. Let's see what's under the bridge today. Just 20 rupees. And HauntedQuest discovering the problem with coming down here with no weapons and no stun. You got to try to avoid that green guard because you can either kill him and ruin your death warp, or he can just chase you all around and make it twice as long to kill this ball and chain guard down here. So the castle not really paying out too much. Blue mail's nice, but it's not really overall progressive. Got a Hylia Island check. Doesn't give us anything interesting. We are 18 rupees shy of Zora money, so he may try to go over to the Ice Rod area and get that first. The other unfortunate thing he's doing by taking this route is isolating Mini Moldorm Cave, which is what he needs to get to the Pearl. Looks like we found a hint on HauntedQuest side. And well, we found one of the castle entrances leads up to Ganon's Tower, which means we have access to the entire mountain once we get the mirror. We also have access to all of the Dark Death Mountain at the moment. We just don't know which entrance is. Alright, NaMeFaKeR may be going to the Zora area, which could be unfortunate. He could be about to isolate the Zora item as well if he doesn't find 18 rupees on the way. Gonna get a digging game check on HauntedQuest side. 80 rupees and anywhere from 1 to 30 digs, and one item can be. Looks like we found our way to the Turtle Rock Big Chest entrance here. NaMeFaKeR demonstrating a sequence break way to get into the main dungeon area here, and it looks like he's actually going to check this connector and cut himself off from the Zora area instead. Does find his way to East Death Mountain via sequence break. Meanwhile, HauntedQuest found the big key of Ganon's Tower at the digging game today. We find Agnes Cave on NaMeFaKeR's side on East Death Mountain. Doesn't give us anything though. Meanwhile, Stumpy, a small key to Desert Palace, which is 2 more items if they can find their way into Desert Palace at any point.
I don't hear Resi right now, so I will just reconnect to see what's happening. Let's see if this is better now. Oh, now Resi left. Hey! No, we don't hear you. Did your mic break by accident? So, sadly, I wasn't paying attention really, so it's kind of hard for me to dive into this. But I guess I'll try until the rest of this mic works again. I hope. I guess. So yeah, as you can see, HauntedQuest right now in the mini Moldom cave, and NaMeFaKeR just checking some areas in the dark world that you really never, ever see. Hey, where's he? Are you back? It doesn't sound like it. Oh, too bad. But well, until he is, I guess I'll just continue right here. So, HauntedQuest now going back to the sanctuary, and NaMeFaKeR checking more entrances here in the Dark World. Finding a cave, and that's a fortune teller, so what will he say? Ganon's tower leads to Hyrule Castle. Well, okay. We'll take that, I guess. Not sure if this was already known. But yeah, now we know. So that's interesting. Well, here for HauntedQuest. And NaMeFaKeR is checking the entrance to Thieves Town, and that's one of the few Hyrule Castle entrances. Seems like NaMeFaKeR takes this to actually do the escape sequence to rescue Zelda, which you don't really do in entrance rando, but you know what I mean. HauntedQuest going to the well, finding the small key to Hyrule Castle here, the Suez key that NaMeFaKeR actually found quite a while ago. And he will also find his boots now here finally. So yeah, NaMeFaKeR found this like 2 minutes in, and now HauntedQuest.
Can you hear me?
There we go! Where's he? What happened?
So my headphone appears to have broken, and I'm operating without it, so I don't know how bad that sounds.
It's okay. It's fine.
Not really, because that headset should be still working for what it costs. But anyway, where were we?
Yeah, well, sorry about your headset. HauntedQuest just found the boots finally, because he finally found the well after 30 minutes after NaMeFaKeR. But that's... And we found a hint that Ganon's tower leads to Hyrule Castle.
Yeah, we saw that it's on somebody's side, which I think it was Haunted.
Yeah, that's possible. NaMeFaKeR found that hint.
Alright, well, we know nothing was really in the castle, and there's nothing really where HauntedQuest is either. I missed what they may have checked while I was trying to play with my headphone, but I assume that it was basically just covering each other's footsteps, which would mean that they didn't find anything significant.
And apparently we broke again. So I'm back. Hey, I'm back. So, yeah, NaMeFaKeR still now getting back up. Hey.
Can you hear me this time?
Yes, there is your normal headset.
Okay, my headset's alive. Okay.
Yay. So hobo check with nothing.
Let's see. So I missed a couple minutes, like I said, but I think they're just floating over each other's footsteps, right? Don't believe we've seen anybody go through the connectors of the castle, though, so that could be interesting. Map check on NaMeFaKER's side, but I definitely missed it. Hopefully everybody can still hear me. I'm going to be paranoid now that they can't. Alright, potion shop. I think we saw that on NaMeFaKER's side. HauntedQuest doesn't have the mushrooms, so just something to keep in mind. NaMeFaKER getting his big GT key, which we have not actually seen GT yet, so that's something that's got a lot of items that's at large. We do still have a lot of stuff to explore still, though. All right, NaMeFaKeR also getting that small key Desert Palace. I don't think we actually found Desert Palace yet, so that's gonna be I don't know. We still have, like I said, we still have access to all of Dark Death Mountain. We don't have a mirror to access the light yet, but we also haven't seen all of 100% of the connectors. I don't think so. We do find Thieves Town and the Bonk Rocks behind the bomb shop, so that's 4 items we can get right now. We also have the small key, so we could go we could go further back with the big key that we already have, but we don't have any way to kill blind, so it's not super attractive right now. However, the means to kill blind could in fact be further back in the dungeon here. We would need a sword, a hammer, or one of either cane to take on blind. HauntedQuest finding Ice Palace on Eastern Death Mountain, where he's found his way to as well. Gets his not so useful hint about the Desert Big Key. Oh, well, we've got a shovel out of Thieves Town, so that's one more thing to pursue. Will NaMeFaKeR go any further? He doesn't seem to have a lot of health left, so he's probably going to Death Warp. I don't know. Oh, maybe he is going to go. Again, without a weapon, he can't do everything in here, but he could find something good. Having both keys means everything is in logic in this dungeon right now. Of course, 2 items he can't get to regardless. However, the Maiden's Chest and the Attic Chest could in fact have something very valuable. HauntedQuest able to get this 1 item out of Swamp Palace, so that's good for him. Can't go any further without the small key or the hammer, obviously. But it is one more thing we didn't get to see. Actually, he doesn't have a really good weapon to deal with these rats, but does really good with the 1 bomb. Unfortunately, just for a compass. And NaMeFaKeR getting in. Unfortunately, not useful hint about the Moon Pearl. He's going to keep going. He's only got less than a heart now, though, so anything he touches will kill him. Gonna have to be a little careful. HauntedQuest is going to check the Bonk Rocks, maybe? I don't think he's checked all the boot stuff yet. Oh, actually, NaMeFaKeR is going to elect to use his potion so that he can keep going here. Oh, finds a bow. That's pretty nice. Still no idea whether that allows him to single dip or still no idea whether that is required double dip of Thieves Town though, or if you're able to single dip this. With Crossworld Keysanity, anything can happen. You could be, in fact, expected to take that bow somewhere to get the first object that you can use to kill blind. Looks like HauntedQuest is going to find Turtle Rock Big Chest, but elects to go take care of the Zora item and the Ledge item, which I don't believe NaMeFaKeR ever had the chance to do. And NaMeFaKeR lucks out. There is a sword in the main chest, which means he can now kill blind. He is going to isolate the big chest without the hammer, but this could prove to be what the game requires of you, is to come in here and do this. However, we did get some mitts on HauntedQuest side, which also allow you to do a few things. So, no idea yet who's doing the thing that the game wants. NaMeFaKeR into the blind fight. It's a scripted fight, which you have to hit blind 9 times. Unfortunately, NaMeFaKeR is off the script already, so he's in pretty big danger of dying right now. Going to pause buffer in hopes of not getting killed. Unfortunately, does not work. Meanwhile, Haunted Quest, taking a Death Orb in Turtle Rock, I expect that they're going to explore a little further in here, or possibly take the connector as well. Looks like NameFaKeR is going to go right back into Blind. This is going to make it impossible to do the script, so this could still be a little dangerous. Oh, Haunted Quest has already went through that connector, but he did just get mid, so that's one other entrance you could check, so that's a good idea. Turns out to be a dark cave, so don't know which one. Alright, phase 1 down for NameFaKeR. Takes a hit there. Phase 2 down though. Haunted Quest also remembering mids get you 2 more entrances here on the bottom of Darkness. And meanwhile, NameFaKeR has got Blind down. Unfortunately just for a compass, but I think Haunted Quest has found the thing that you were supposed to do, because here's Paradox Cave. So here is 7 items that he can get to very easily. Have to be a little careful on his health, but he does have blue mail, so it makes it a little less and NameFaKeR finding Laser Bridge, which didn't have anything of note, but he's gonna go ahead and clear that. We got a big key of Eastern Palace and an Ether Medallion. So actually, kind of mixed results on the Paradox Cave. Didn't get a lot of great things. Probably a couple of necessary things, but nothing really great. And there is one more entrance we have not seen that he's going to go through right now, which leads to Floating Island. So here is another way to get to Dark. I believe that just said that the pyramid crack leads to Skullwood. So the big bomb could be required today. We don't actually know if we need to defeat Skullwoods yet, though. I didn't see what that said, actually. Something about Desert Palace, it looked like. Oh, okay. Well, that'll be one of the 3 main entrances of Desert. Then we haven't actually seen any of those, and that's definitely connected to. All right. So Desert Main is one of the Desert Palace entrances. That's kind of. We find Hookshot Cave on Dark Death Mountain here. With the boots, we can get 1 item. Not if we lift that pot up, though. Meanwhile, NameFaKeR going to take these flippers and go check 3 entrances in the Dark Ice Rod area. Haunted Quest is not going to check that 1 item. I really don't know why. Does find Sahasrara, though. We find Swamp as the green pendant. So, so far we're still kind of looking for the thing to break things open. The mitts look pretty promising, but they don't open a huge amount. Dark Ice Rod area, meanwhile, doesn't look too helpful. I think we might get a Dark Witch's Hut and a Catfish check out of NaMeFaKeR as well. Alright, Haunted Quest coming back for this one item, just 10 arrows. But he also has the connector here that he can check. We really haven't seen Light World Death Mountain yet, so it'd be interesting to see if we find a connector there. And we did, but unfortunately it's to Mimic Cave, so super useless. We are in fact going to get a Dark Witch's Hut and Catfish check. I do believe we also have not seen the Palace of Darkness front entrance yet, but I could be wrong. Meanwhile, Haunted Quest taking his shortcut to Kakariko Village. Gonna go check the couple of things here that the myths can get him, I think. I forget where that sword was that NaMeFaKeR has. Oh yeah, Thieves Town, right. It was only a couple minutes ago, but I've already forgotten. Good memory. I think we might get a potion glitch from Haunted Quest here, looks like. Oh no, wait, he got the bow, didn't he? Oh no, that was also NaMeFaKeR, just kidding. So this is in logic, but he doesn't. This is an easy enough glitch. Just drink a potion while you're walking left, and you offset the camera. Then you move the mimics out of the way, and the game thinks that they're dead because they are off the screen. Well, we have Bombos, which is Ice Palace entry. Once Haunted Quest finds that sword, anyway. Meanwhile, it looks like NaMeFaKeR's taking a more traditional route to Zora. Haunted Quest going to use his key to get these two items in the back here, but going to be slightly disappointed by what he finds. So I'm kind of interested to check out the Smith chain with these mitts, and also possibly the Ice Palace entrance. Alternatively, I'm not sure anybody's done a full exploration of the front of Skullwoods. I know that Haunted Quest did one item out of there, but I don't think we've seen the rest of those. Speaking of Ice Palace entrance, NaMeFaKeR might be going right there. Yep, it looks like. Oh, we found Eastern Palace, and we do know where the Eastern Palace big key is, so that's interesting. Unfortunately, NaMeFaKeR does not have that. He could single dip Eastern if he had gone the same route that NaMeFaKeR or Haunted Quest has, but he is going to have to double dip it. He can get 3 items here in logic and a 4th one outside of logic. Meanwhile, Haunted Quest is going to Catfish, I think. Alright, so far we got a Palace of Darkness key out of Eastern. second chest is just junk. Archery game, which doesn't do anybody any good this late, and catfish, I believe, was just money, so HauntedQuest not going to find anything he's looking for over here. Oh, we found a mirror, so I think that maybe you could have, in fact, single-dipped Thieves Town. Seems like the logic. Wow, that was kind of a dick move. Seems like the logic really wanted you to get to Eastern and get this mirror, so it wouldn't surprise me to see the hammer lock behind the mirror. Not really. Oh wait, nope, you're right. That is true. So, he is trading one for the other. He wouldn't have been able to single dip Eastern with the bow being where it is. Yeah. Well, that still depends on where the hammer is. It could be somewhere other than mirror lock, so it's still theoretically possible you could have single dipped both depending on where that ends up. I would not be surprised to see the hammer being mirror locked though. Oh, we find a super useless old man spawn cave. Meanwhile, HauntedQuest, we haven't seen the chess game, I don't think, yet. It's just... So, NaMeFaKeR has these mitts. He may be going to do some Village of Outcast stuff. He also has this mirror, so he could be doing Smith Chain. He could be doing Race Game, Cave 45, Graveyard Ledge, something, any of those things. Looks like he's gonna go south and do the Race Game and Cave 45 first. Possibly pick up the Smith after he does that, because I don't think he's done the digging game either, maybe? Or maybe he has, because he's walking. I did have a couple minutes where I couldn't quite see what was going on. Alright, K45, just a useless... Oh yeah, he did, didn't he? So K45, useless cave. We found the Turtle Rock front inside a Palace of Darkness. Can't do anything there, but we did get a hint that waiting in the Tower of Terror basement just leads to a small Palace of Darkness key, which we may or may not care about. Depending on how available those keys are, I suppose. Alright, so I do believe that NaMeFaKeR is going to go back to Race Game now. He's going to pick up a Master Sword and be able to check an entrance. HauntedQuest is going to sequence break the back of the old man cave. It's a fairly simple cave to get through even with no equipment. Unfortunately, just goes to Kakariko, so not super helpful. Alright, so now we have Master Sword, which makes checking the front of the top of the castle a little more appealing, since you can get all three entrances now. I think NaMeFaKeR is going to go ahead and pick up the Smith. Looks like HauntedQuest might go ahead and check the rest of Skull Woods at this point. He should have 3 or 4 more items he can get out of here. So we could be in in a situation where the first store that HauntedQuest ends up being or getting could be the one at the race game. Looks like NaMeFaKeR is going to go ahead and grab this key out of the back of or by mirroring over here, getting to the lumberjack this way, which with mirror and mitts is an alternative to using the hammer. Just a small key to Misery Mire though, so that was definitely an unnecessary move on him. Ooh, we do find a lamp, so it's quite possible with one of the dark rooms we've seen that we do have access to the western Death Mountain at this point. Don't 100% remember where all those were. I don't think I have them all marked. Alright, so NaMeFaKeR right on HauntedQuest heels. I think this is the first time he's been into Skullwoods. All that's really here is the lamp so far, though. Alright, so HauntedQuest may be checking lamp spots at this point. Because he should know that one of the... I think based on the number of lamp spots they found, one of them should be the old man's cave. It should be accessible already. He might also do the smith chain, looks like. I do have one lamp spot marked in the dark lumberjack hut. That could be the one he's going after. And it does appear to be. I don't know if he already knows that this is the old man's, because I don't think he jumped down. Looks like it's Death Mountain Descent, not the old man, but it is still a connector that goes somewhere that we might need. I'm not 100% sure how many dark rooms they found, so they may not have found the old man's yet either. That one also just leading to Kakariko, unfortunately. Yeah, maybe they haven't found enough dark caves yet. Looks like HauntedQuest is not quite sure where he wants to go next. He does have the smith chain open to him, and we know that he has the mirror available to him based on having the mitts and the flippers. NaMeFaKeR, meanwhile, going to check another mirror spot for us. Believe this was the top of Bumper Ledge. Alright, there's one item in here that I don't believe that HauntedQuest has gotten in the Dark Cross. And he can also check out these connectors. Oh, this was Turtle Rock Ledge, never mind. But we already know the Mimic Cave is used. He's actually not found this side of Hookshot Cave yet, though, so... gonna go ahead and check that. Oh, finds his way through the back of Paradox Cave. Going to find that Eastern Big Key after he already cleared the dungeon, unfortunately. Speaking of big keys, we have the big key to Palace of Darkness in the Dark Cross chest. And HauntedQuest, it's only found one small key so far, so he can't. And there's no hammer, so he can't do a lot in Palace of Darkness too. I'm not sure if we've seen this exit of the castle, but one of the castle entrances goes to Ganon's tower. Hopefully not this one. But it is. Alright, so if Haunted Quest goes to the Ice Palace entrance, he will get his mirror here. Looks like he's going. He will be in the same situation as NaMeFaKeR, but for different reasons, because he doesn't have the bow, so he will not. He will also not be able to clear Eastern Palace, but he will be able to get the big chest. At least he would if he were not skipping Eastern Palace right now. I'm not really sure where it is that he wants to go. I mean, he's going to Turtle Rock, but I don't know if he's going to do the middle of Turtle Rock or check the connector to go. Oh, I think that was where we saw another dark cave, was on East Death Mountain. So maybe we do have the old man. Speaking of Death Mountain, though, NaMeFaKeR has access to the West Death Mountain via the mirror. So if he well, if he were to go left out of there, jump off the floating island and go left, he'd have access to the whole light world. I guess Haunted Quest had not cleared out these items in Turtle Rock yet. I don't know if we saw a NaMeFaKeR do either. Alright, so what is Haunted Quest? I think Haunted Quest might be going to East Death Mountain this time. I want to say there wasn't a light dark cave over here, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, okay, there it is. So, Haunted Quest finding access to the West Death Mountain via the Old Man Cave. Meanwhile, NaMeFaKeR is going to have access to it via the mirror. And I do believe they're going to be exploring it at around the same time. Oh, they find Hype Cave. Alright, harp. Hype Cave, not very hype. Oh, that could be an interesting problem. Swamp has a lot of items, though, so if it's a crystal, then... Or no, never mind. That's... ignore what I'm saying. It has a lot of items, though, so he may end up needing to do it anyway, regardless of checking the wrong status for it. Hey, we finally found a part of desert, and we do have the ability to get 4 items out. But it looks like NaMeFaKeR's not quite interested in doing that yet, while Haunted Quest is interested in doing that. Maybe not, because Haunted Quest appears to have changed his mind and is exiting. Maybe he wants to save that for last. Well, we find Aghanim's Tower, which is something we're going to need to defeat at some point. However, we only have the one key so far. Haunted Quest still not having any great weapons for dealing with enemies. Does make good use of the cane though in this situation. Gonna go ahead and attempt to get the or well, he does have the lamp actually, so no, that shouldn't be fine. Nothing really in Aghanim's Tower. Meanwhile, NaMeFaKeR going to be able to check the Hera entrance with this mirror. And we find a couple of items here. And NaMeFaKeR is now Tempered Sword, while Haunted Quest unfortunately remains Sword. So I guess the real question is, what is going to be the which of these three swords is going to be the first one that Haunted Quest finds? Well, it's probably going to be the race game or the Eastern or the race game probably. If he goes to Eastern first, it'll be the race. Find Hera and a useless hint to go with it. And we do not get anything good out of Hera. Unfortunately, we can only get 2 items. Still haven't seen one of these runners go into Desert Palace yet, which has 4 items for the ticket. But I think they're both trying to save that for the very last. Alright, here we go. 4 items and 2 connectors that we can get to check out here. Maybe 1 connector, depending on where it spits. Oh, and of course the hint. The blue cane can be found near the Elder. We already know that, so no good. And both runners end up in Desert Palace right around the same time, so they are really just kind of high-fiving right now. Almost synced up, really, just a couple rooms off. This should go a little faster for NaMeFaKeR though, because he has better weaponry to defeat these enemies. NaMeFaKeR or Haunted Quest gonna have to be careful to not waste any of these bombs because he cannot, or he has no more to. All right, got all the enemies down at least. Got a small key to turn rock. Meanwhile, NaMeFaKeR has caught up because he has a sword and he can take those enemies down fast. And Desert was kind of a bust. Both choosing to go out Desert right, understandable, and we find the top of Death Mountain. And it looks like they're gonna have to decide which whether they want to drop down or check the middle entrance. Looks like they're both gonna opt to check the middle entrance. Oh yeah, we already know what that is, right? We did get a hint for that. Good. Apparently both runners forgot that hint though, or at least the one that saw it forgot it, because one of them definitely saw it. So Desert middle is vanilla today. Alright, we're gonna get a drop down into the middle here for NaMeFaKeR and find Spiral Cave, which he could go ahead and take care of because we know the old man is worthless. Or the next cave down is the old man front, and he already did it from the back, so. Meanwhile, HauntedQuest chose to drop down the Spiral Cave, which we already saw on NaMeFaKeR's side to be nothing, so he's gonna miss out on Spiral Cave. I'm not sure, but I think we saw the bottom of this already somewhere. Yeah, there we go. Alright, I'm not really sure where HauntedQuest wants to go next. Really, I'm not really sure where NaMeFaKeR's going either, for that matter. Oh, he's gonna go defeat Eastern Palace, actually, which is a good idea, because he now has the big key, and as well as the bow. And even has the lamp, so this is all in logic for him. Looks like we found out Tower of Her was a crystal on NaMeFaKeR's side. HauntedQuest really needs to get to the Ice Palace entrance in order to get that mirror, but it looks like he may be doing the Smith chain. Yeah, some of the swords are in awkward spots. Well, really, the mirror locks 2 of them, and the other one's in the back of Thieves Town, which you could also easily find swordless. Alright, so Smith Chain for HauntedQuest. NaMeFaKeR gonna do the back of Eastern here, so 2 more checks on his side. HauntedQuest might actually find Eastern here in a minute. The interesting thing will be, does he decide to go all the way through without a sword? He does have the Cane of Burner, but he doesn't have any magic to use it, so that's another factor. Oh, we got the big key to Turtle Rock on NaMeFaKeR's side. If HauntedQuest goes into the basement, he's going to erase the Smith, and he's also got the problem of not having any magic for the Cane of Burna, so that makes it all less appealing in his case. Unfortunately, that's where his sword is, and also I believe the bow is back there too. Gets the shovel. I don't believe that led to anything interesting. And NaMeFaKeR gonna take the Armos Knights down fairly quickly for a small key of Turtle Rock and a pendant. Meanwhile, HauntedQuest gonna go ahead and take that Death Warp just to not erase the Smith, and also since he doesn't have any magic, I believe. If he had magic, he might be more willing to go after Blind, but he does not. Alright, let's see where NaMeFaKeR wants to go next. Back up to Death Mountain, perhaps? He does have that cave behind the Dark Rock that he has not checked yet. Unfortunately, it's just going to be the old man front, and he's already done it from the back, so not going to be super good for him. Meanwhile, HauntedQuest is in real danger of dying before he gets over to the Dark Ice Rod area here. And unfortunately, he does. Oh, it looks like NaMeFaKeR is going to check this one chest in Swamp, although it's not going to get it. They are really struggling to find this hammer right now. They do still have some stuff open in them that they haven't checked, though. Alright, NaMeFaKeR gonna find this cave that does him no good. We'll see what he does. He has a couple of mirror spots here and there, I think, that he has yet to check. HauntedQuest gonna go ahead and take the Smith back to Eastern, which is one of the crappier places that the Smith can try. It's a real case of how long it's going to take HauntedQuest to remember that Ice Palace entrance is a thing right now. Mirror would give him a lot more options to choose from. Meanwhile, looks like we are going to see a Palace of Darkness check on NaMeFaKeR's side. The bow stuff is in logic for him here, but it's not anything that he needs. And also, he doesn't have enough keys for the back to really be in logic, but he can check a few items back there while he... Alright, where is HauntedQuest gonna go? He may go do the purple chest since he just started the submit. Still not going to Ice Palace, which is where his mirror resides. Also, still hasn't checked the bonk rock. Or no, he did. He went to Thieves Town. He just didn't have any magic to get the blind kill. Yeah, it looks like he might go after the purple chest here. NaMeFaKeR finding Bombos. They can't really do... Well, no, he can get into Ice Palace now, so that's kind of interesting for him. I mean, it's hammerless Ice Palace, but at this point, it still seems pretty interesting because he's running low on options. We're gonna get a check of Hyrule Castle Middle over here. Unfortunately, just goes to Laser Bridge, and without the mirror, that doesn't do anybody any good. We also seen the Light World exit of there. Oh, and we found the Cane of Samaria, which is not at all in logic yet, but a nice... potential hammer jump on NaMeFaKeR's side, it looks like. And I'm not 100% sure where HauntedQuest is going at the moment. Oh, Dark Ice Rod area because he died on the way, actually. Or... I thought he had already gone to Catfish, but... Okay, never mind. He was just getting turned around there, it looked like. NaMeFaKeR, unfortunately, not making his first attempt on the Hammer Yum. Gonna have to go back to the back here and reset and try. He also is not the one who has found the Palace of Darkness big key, so gonna have to orphan this big chest as well. HauntedQuest finding a nice bomb farming spot, considering he is completely out of bombs. So far, the mirror is in Eastern Palace, which is in Ice Palace entrance, and HauntedQuest has done a pretty good job of forgetting that that is a thing. And still hasn't found a sword because he went into Thieves Town with the Smith with him, and also with no magic, so he had 2 reasons to not want to go to the basement. And we are still searching for the sword. As far as... or the sword, the hammer. NaMeFaKeR has now gotten the Bombos medallion, though, which opens up Ice Palace, which is not ever attractive hammerless, but with the amount of checks he's done, it's starting to look pretty attractive. Doesn't look like he's into doing it just yet, though. Haunted Quest, meanwhile, may have finally remembered that Eastern Palace is a thing, or Ice Palace is a thing, because I think he's going. Okay, Haunted Quest on track to get his mirror finally. That'll be nice for him. It does directly lead to a sword that he knows about, and does also directly lead to a sword he does not know. Gonna get a graveyard ledge check on NaMeFaKeR's side. And we finally found Ganon's Tower, although we cannot do a huge amount in here. Got powder, so that's another check. And we can check tile room, which is not in logic yet. We don't have enough pod keys for that to be in logic, but logic's magic. And we can also get the torch item on the left side. NaMeFaKeR doesn't have the cape, so he's gonna have to use his tile dodging skills here. Just a piece of heart, so nothing great there. Chloe raises a good and disgusting point that the mini homosaur room of GT is in logic. NaMeFaKeR, meanwhile, making a potentially fatal mistake of forgetting that the GT torch is a thing, did not go to the left side at all. Alright, so Haunted Quest has their mirror at least, which opens up a lot more checks for them. And speaking of mirror, we are going to get a top of the castle check. We have not seen this yet. 3 more entrances we can get into. As of yet, we still haven't determined where the hammer is and whether or not you could single dip any of the various entrances. Oh, but there's fire rods, so that's probably going to drive NaMeFaKeR back to GT, even though the right side is not technically in logic. Actually, he doesn't have a GT small key yet, so going right side GT under these circumstances definitely would be a little annoying and not necessarily the greatest. He could steal a key from the left, but I don't know. Looks like Haunted Quest is trying to get the Turtle Rock big chest with the bomb jump here. I totally missed what that was, but it just did remind me that Misery Mire has been a thing for quite some time now. They do know where it's at, and they have the boot. Small GT and Misery Mire. So they have the boots, and they have a sword, and various other weapons. Misery Mire check would be super productive right now. They should probably go do... Haunted Quest not quite to the right enough for that bomb jump, it looked like. You gotta clip yourself into the rail here to get across. And there you go. Good job. And we got a small key to GT. So Misery Mire's in the dam, and I'm surprised nobody's gone for it yet because we found it quite some time ago. And the hammer could have just been sitting there this entire time. Although, to be fair, I totally forgot it existed as well, so... HauntedQuest found the red mail, but at least he got the mirror before he found it, so Death Warp's a little, or don't have to be a thing anymore. NaMeFaKeR, don't know what he was about to do there, but it looks like he's gonna check out the middle of Turtle Rock. Same as HauntedQuest, actually. We have one chest here in the middle. It looks like neither runner got, and they're gonna both go for that right now. HauntedQuest still suffering from a distinct lack of sword or blunt weapon, but no, is wasting his one key here to avoid that pokey killing. We get a Swamp Palace big key, which is not gonna do us any good. So Misery Mire has now become my most interesting potential check here that everybody has thus far. If the hammer is inside of Misery Mire, they could have in fact avoided both the double dip of Eastern Palace and the double dip of Thieves Town by doing Thieves Town and then Eastern Palace in that order. We haven't found the hammer behind the mirror yet, so... NaMeFaKeR, unfortunately getting a reminder that if you swing at the berries while they're electrified, you are going to get bounced off your platform. Meanwhile, HauntedQuest is going to take that mirror and start checking various entrances that he's found. NaMeFaKeR almost going the wrong way, but remembering last second that you don't have the hook shot, you're going to have to do this. NaMeFaKeR may also go out of the front of Turtle Rock because he hasn't seen it yet, I don't believe. Because he never went to the pod entrance. HauntedQuest gonna finally get himself a sword. And in the front of Turtle Rock, we have the big key of Misery Mire, so maybe NaMeFaKeR will finally think to go there. He can full clear it at this point. NaMeFaKeR getting the news about the front of the pod entrance, which he had not checked thus far. And I'm not really sure where he's going from here. And we find Misery Mire is a pendant on HauntedQuest's side, as well as Thieves Town being a crystal and Skullwoods being a crystal. So they will need to get the big bomb today, because Skullwoods is in the crack of the pyramid. Misery Mire being our final pendant of the day, it looks like. So we have full information, just not for either runner yet. Speaking of Misery Mire, I think NaMeFaKeR is finally doing it. Alright, so 8 items in here. We will get a pendant out of it, which is not as exciting, but these, a lot of these items have been available for quite some time, and one of them could easily be the hammer that we've been missing. The left side is not quite in logic because of not having enough small keys, but easily skippable. Meanwhile, HauntedQuest has found GT. We'll see if he checks the torch item. He can't do the tile room. He can do, since he hasn't found the cane of Samaria yet. He is remembering. And just a shield, so no problem for NaMeFaKeR for forgetting that one. NaMeFaKeR, unfortunately, missing the glitch there. But he does have enough magic to do this, or to take a couple more shots, that is. HauntedQuest, I think he already cleared out the rest of Skullwood, so I'm not sure where he's going exactly. Oh, powder check, it looks like? Powder just leading to a map of Hyrule Castle, the other super useless map of the... Small Ganon's Tower key in Myers, so that puts the... Well, no, because the cane's not in logic without at least 2 more pod keys. Does make routing the right side of Ganon's Tower easier, at least, though. Looks like we're gonna get a purple chest check from HauntedQuest, finally. And we have another small GT key in the Misery Mire big chest. And there's another Palace of Darkness key, so we're now only 1 short of having enough to get the... What are you doing, NaMeFaKeR? You're skipping a chest. We're only 1... Okay, he remembered. He doesn't have the hook shot. He's got to go back. We are only 1 small Palace of Darkness key from the right side of GT being in logic, though. And HauntedQuest finally making the Mire play as well, but doesn't have the ability to full clear here. It will let him out of a GT small key, but that may or may not be a problem. You can full clear with 2. We only know where 3 of them are so far. NaMeFaKeR going back for Vitreous now. So the hammer wasn't in here, at least. We did get a little closer to putting the Palace of Dark, or the GT right side in logic, though, so it's interesting. We also got a little bit closer to putting the upstairs without the hookshot in logic. Which I think 2 keys still... No, we have 3 in logic GT keys, so actually all the chests in the upstairs besides the mini mold or the post mold arm chest are in logic. So this could be a seed that wants you to climb GT with no hookshot. Depending on where the last GT small key is, coming in here without the big key may not hurt HauntedQuest if Vitreous has nothing. Nice job of getting all the small eyes down on Vitreous. And 8 arrows and Vitreous goes down. Just a compass and a pendant here, so if the other small key to GT is available, HauntedQuest may be okay here by not coming in here with the big. Alright, so where is NaMeFaKeR gonna go now? Interesting to note that this far in, we still only have 1 crystal, but we do have 2 pendants. Alright, so we're going up the mountain. I'm not sure what for. There's a couple different things they could do up here. Looks like maybe checking a mirror location. Oh, nope, we're finally going to dive Ice Palace without the hammer, which, as I stated earlier, is a little bit more attractive than normal based on their lack of options. Don't know if it's required yet, though. Meanwhile, HauntedQuest looks like they're going to the Kakariko area. Not sure what they're going to go for over here. Oh, looks like they're going to go further into Palace of Darkness. They're going to get their Cane of Samaria, at least. And let's see here. Yeah, it looks like maybe NaMeFaKeR had done a map check and found that Skullwoods was a crystal, so they had to fix their. Alright, NaMeFaKeR looks like they're going to go ahead and hedge their bets and do a bomb jump in case the hammer's in here. That way they can finish the dungeon. And meanwhile, HauntedQuest gets their Cane of Samaria. Almost falling in the hole there and having to redo the bomb jump. Luckily, he did. Alright, HauntedQuest gets the bomb jump off. I actually missed what was in the big chest. I also missed that hint because I looked away at the wrong time there. Oh, map to Eastern, so that is not really great. Also a left side Misery Mire hint, not that great at this point either, so nothing good for this side. Gonna get a bomb jump here from NaMeFaKeR because he does not have the hook shot yet. Didn't go quite low enough. I think he's... Yeah, there. That might be good, I think. There we go. Alright, NaMeFaKeR forgetting without a hammer. You can't do this side, so it has to go back down. Small key to Turtle Rock, so that doesn't really do a great deal of good. He now has to start over based on his routing, though, because he doesn't have... Oh, that kind of hurts, actually. If the hammer is there, that could be costly. So we have two chests that are question marks in Ice Palace, and we also have the upstairs at GT without the hookshot that is a question mark. Right side GT is available, it's not in logic, so there could be something good over there, but we don't know. I think NaMeFaKeR may actually try to go for the right side of GT right now. It's entirely possible you were supposed to do hammerless ice or upstairs GT without the hookshot just to get keys to put right side GT in logic, so not a bad idea to just go ahead and do this. Meanwhile, HauntedQuest is... I'm not sure. I think they're doing... Well, they already did the South Mirror stuff, so I'm not sure what they're doing. Potentially going through the rest of Thieves Town now, I think is what they're doing. Gonna get his bow at least, and that's and a second sword fight. Still gonna have an orphan big chest on his side though. Alright, so again, we don't have enough keys for the right side of GT to be in logic here, but the keys could be available somewhere stupid, so we're going to get a chance to check a number of items over there. So far, just a cape. We'll see if once he gets done with the ice armor, NaMeFaKeR wants to climb without the... Meanwhile, HauntedQuest is making his way upstairs, should be getting his bow fairly soon. NaMeFaKeR taking an unfortunate fall. You can't just dash through there without having invincibility activated. You have to kind of time things a little. It is possible to walk through there without taking any damage. NaMeFaKeR manages to damage boost through it though. Has the boots, but gonna go ahead and do this the vanilla. And HauntedQuest finally has his second sword after spending so much time without either one. NaMeFaKeR gonna do a bomb jump here instead of bonking off the pots. That's interesting, I guess. It's a free bomb jump though, so either way. Alright, so still no sign of the hook shot, so will NaMeFaKeR do the climb? I'm not 100% sure what's at the pyramid drop right now. Let me see what we found. Oh, there's the hammer. So we did get to short circuit some logic for keys at least. And we can break the left side if with some bomb jumps. We are missing one Palace of Darkness key for that hammer to be in logic, but that could just be somewhere really stupid that we don't care about. So nice skip. Looks like he's skipping the style post room. It's actually a fairly easy bomb jump with the boots to set you up to the other side there. Is going to continue on. I'm not sure if he knows the bomb jump to the other side either. It's also fairly easy to do. So the next interesting question becomes, where's the hook shot? Although with Swamp Palace being a pendant, we don't necessarily need it. It looks like NaMeFaKeR, realizing he would have to do a bomb jump to keep going, and has decided against that. Trying to decide what he wants to do. He does have hammer, so he has a few more options now. I wouldn't say he has a crazy amount, but well, he can at least go back to Ice Palace and finish it. Turns out that the Ice Palace hammerless dip was not strictly necessary. I'm not sure where he's going, to be honest. So we have full knowledge, so I guess we should talk about potential go mode. We need the swamp, or no, we don't. We need the Desert Big Key, which is in an entrance we haven't found yet. We need the Ice Rod. And we need the second Agate Tower key, actually, is going to be the big thing. But Ice Rod, Desert Big, which we know is in alone in a cave by a hint, which means it's just in some random entrance somewhere. And Agate Tower key are our strict requirements for go mode. However, we may need some other stuff depending on where it's where any of that is. We need the second Agate Tower key because Ganon's at the Lumberjack. So they're going to need to pursue entrances to find the Desert Palace key, and we have explored a lot of the ones we've seen already. So it could be that we need some other form of progression to get to that Desert Palace key, such as we have not seen the Mire area yet, so that opens up a lot of entrances. We know that Skull Woods is in the Pyramid Crack, so we're going to need to defeat Palace of Darkness and Ice Palace. So as far as entrances go, we're just looking for the entrance that has the Desert Palace Big Key in it. Although there could be progression in some of the other entrances we haven't seen as HauntedQuest, meanwhile, also doing the hammerless Ice Palace dive. So this is a little bit of Misery Mire and Eastern Palace did not lead to anything. No. HauntedQuest needs to mirror on top of the castle in order to find his fire rod, which will get him the right side of GT. He won't have enough keys to clear the left side because he went into Mire without the big. Pyramid Drop is... I want to say the Pyramid Drop is the uncle. There's no book, so we don't know what's at the pedestal. And there's no way to. Yeah, it's gonna largely depend on where anything's at. Haunted Quest may end up going back to either one of those places. Well, he already completed Eastern. He may end up going back to Mire at some point just for lack of options. We'll see. Looks like we're gonna get a bomb jump over to the right side again here, but we do have the hammer this time. We can get the last key. Assuming we survive the bomb jump. I don't think that's low enough. Nope, it was. Okay, it's a little hard to tell on Bowser. That's interesting. I've never seen a barrier travel rooms like that. I would say we probably need the food at this point just because we're running out of entrances. And we do have an entrance that we have to find the Desert Palace big key in, according to a hint. Oh, the hook shot though. That makes things a little interesting. That does give us some more checks that we can do. Certainly makes climbing GT a little more palatable if you're either of these runners. We do have 3 checks left in Hookshot Cave as well. The hookshot may put Haunted Quest off the hammer a little bit longer. Depends. He really just needs to get up to the top of the castle and mirror there. That's should be something he does sooner rather than later. NaMeFaKeR probably a little bit mad that he missed that hookshot the first time through and could have done left side GT while he was in. And also probably mad that he could have saved himself the bomb jump over here if he had just gone to the big chest first. And Haunted Quest is done with their hammerless dive of Ice Palace. Got their hook shot, which is going to give them a couple things, but until they find that fire rod, they're going to be starting to get a little. Moon Pearl was fairly free, although NaMeFaKeR left themselves out of it for a while because you had to get the dam and mini Moldorm cave. Mini Moldorm cave being one of those awkward to route kind of places. All right, NaMeFaKeR finally, or sorry, Haunted Quest finally going to get their tempered sword after being swordless for so long. So that puts the guys on even keel as far as equipment goes, swords that is. And we are going to get a hookshot cave check. NaMeFaKeR getting cold stare down very easily. And we found our final Palace of Darkness key to put the cane in logic and therefore the hammer. So you were required to go to Ice Palace to get the hook shot, to go to Palace of Darkness to get the cane, to go to GT to get the hammer. Because key logic is amazing. Very nice to skip though in this case, I think. All right, Haunted Quest, where are you gonna go right now? Hopefully not to GT without the hammer and without the fire rod, because you can only do the tile room. But I suspect that may be what he's doing. Library is on top of Hyrule Castle. And the hammer is fire rod's in Hyrule Castle, or in the library on top of Hyrule Castle. Hammer is behind the fire rod and GT on the right side. Well, behind the ice armor, so you have to go full right to get it. I'm not 100% sure what it is that Haunted Quest is doing right now. Oh, I think he may have just remembered that he has the castle. So he's gonna get his fire rod at least. NaMeFaKeR, meanwhile, gonna go back to GT and do the left side now. After he checks that entrance that I'm pretty sure he already saw. Alright, so this should put Haunted Quest on track to get his hammer. So that's good for him. I imagine he goes to GT after this. The other problem that he has, though, is two of the GT small keys are in Mire, or one of the GT small keys is in Mire, and one of them's in the Hera basement, and he doesn't have access to either one of those, so he only has the one key. He can't go left after he goes right. Or no, actually, I think he can go left after he goes right, but he can't go up under any circumstance. He's gonna have to isolate some stuff in Ganon's Tower. We'll get a mushroom in the Stalfos room. Alright, so I think that Haunted Quest is going to want to go straight to GT from here because that's his best option at the moment. So he should probably get his hammer before... Looks like he is going straight there, so that's good for him. Alright, rando room. And then NaMeFaKeR could 100% go upstairs if he really wants to. There's another key to Palace of Dark. I don't remember where the big key to Palace of Darkness is. The NaMeFaKeR doesn't have it. Maybe somebody in chat can help. Meanwhile, looks like NaMeFaKeR is going straight up. He does have, if I'm correct about the uncle being a pyramid, he does have 6 checks up here, so not a bad. Everybody can still hear me, right? I had microphone issues earlier. Alright, just making sure. That's probably a push to talk thing, and I just need to push it a little bit longer, I think. Alright, so we have potentially 6 items up here for NameFaKeR. HauntedQuest is going to be able to go left a little bit here. He won't be able to check every chest, and he may not be able to go upstairs. So if anything upstairs is good, this could be a slight problem for him regarding not having enough keys. We'll have to wait and see. So Tippered Sword making the gauntlet not too bad. So NameFaKeR's almost through here. And he's got powder, so he can take a little health refill here to help him out. And just going to use sword on the land molas. It's really the best bet in this case. I mean, he does have fire rod, but he's got to save some magic for upstairs. Alright, HauntedQuest almost to the Ice Armos and then to his hammer. And I expect him to go left as soon as he gets. Meanwhile, NameFaKeR is just a couple of rooms away from some new items that we have yet to see. Alright, hammer for HauntedQuest. I imagine he's happy to finally find that. And he is going to go straight left. He may not be able to get everything over here, though, with his keys that he has on hand. We'll have to wait and see what he does. Alright, so far top of GT not really helping. But we do have a few more items to go. Yeah, if he skips the firebar room, he could leave the climb open to him, which would be a slight risk, but it would get him more items overall. Okay, so that chest is nothing. I believe we're going to see the uncle here after we defeat Aghanim 2, so that's 2 more items. That'll tell the tale of whether we really needed to do this climb at all. HauntedQuest struggling a little bit there with his boomerang that decided to just go for a quick jaunt off screen. It's the magical boomerang. It has such a far range that it just goes to another dungeon. Alright, Aghanim 2 is down, and now the moment of truth. Was this worth it? And HauntedQuest has used up all his keys, so he has to abandon GT for now and go do some other exploring. Alright, I was correct. It is the uncle, and the uncle has the flute, which I think is actually necessary in this case. So I think that climb is 100% required, because to give us our Mire access. That is unfortunate for HauntedQuest as far as the keys go. So I do believe he's going to need to do that at some point, which means he's going to have to go back into Mire and get the small key out of the big chest. Or he's going to have to find the Tower of Hera small key and go to the basement. But first he's going to go defeat Palace of Darkness. We also don't know where the 4th GT key is yet. That could be somewhere a little more obtainable. So I suspect... Oh, we find the final sword. I suspect the Mire area is going to lead to the Desert Palace Big Key in some way. Which is one thing that we're going to need, and one thing that we know is just sitting in an entrance somewhere versus in a dungeon. Alright, first check gonna be the Mire entrance itself, which I don't think we've seen a hint for. Just a ferry, but we have a good 5 or 6 more entrances over here to check. Actually, I think 6 or 7 is more like it. And we have a hint NPC telling us the way too late news that you could skip the Eastern Palace Big Key chest. We've got Sick Kid with a small key to Ice Palace, which is also a little too late for helping us. Just a ferry there. We've got 2 more entrances to check. Alright, King's Tomb. So this should not be the Desert Palace Big Key. Well, that is the Desert Palace Big Key. Oh yeah, never mind. Alone in a Cave, I was thinking meant one of the freestanding items, but I guess it doesn't. So, yep. That would appear to make the flute 100% required. So you have to climb GT to get the flute, to get the Desert Palace Big Key. Small key to Turtle Rock. Not really that helpful. Okay, so that's one of the few things we were still missing on our side. NaMeFaKeR is missing the Hera Big Key, which... oh, I guess we didn't have that yet either. I thought HauntedQuest had that. He also doesn't have the Pod Big Key, which I honestly can't remember the location of. I mean, they know where the back of Turtle Rocket or where Laser Bridge is, so there is no need for them to have all 4 keys. And yes, that seems correct for what we are missing. I really can't remember where the Palace of Darkness Big Key is, but HauntedQuest found that somewhere. Skullwoods is at the crack in the pyramid, though, so we know where that is. We just need to be able to defeat... well, we already actually can access Skullwoods. Entrance actually lets you skip all but one key if you really do it right. If you have access to laser birds, that's all you really need. You just need one key and you're good. Where is the Palace of Darkness big key? Does anybody remember? So they do have the ability to defeat Trinex. Speaking of, oh no, they don't. They don't have the asteroids. So just kidding. They can defeat Land Mollas. They can get HauntedQuest can get to Skullwoods and defeat that once he gets done with Ice Palace. They don't have any way into Swamp, but they're probably okay with that. We have a lot of weird possibilities left for our remaining progression. So they both isolated the big chest of Thieves Town, so that's a thing. They both have the mushroom now. If the Swamp Small Key shows up, there's a lot of items there. Skullwoods is clearable. Hey, speak of the devil, there's the Swamp Small Key, so that's a lot of places they could check right now. If I could remember where the pod big key was, Skullwoods would be on the table for NaMeFaKeR. It's available somewhere, because he's obviously, because HauntedQuest has it. I know the HauntedQuest did Smith Chain, but I don't think that was where the pod big key was. Was it? Maybe? Yeah, GT is one of the castle exits. The left side, the right side. Bowser's Bunny Spray is another form of Bowser from another game. Alright, HauntedQuest is taking his hammer to defeat the Ice Palace dungeon. Not a bad idea. And then we'll see where he wants to go next. He does know where Skullwoods is, so he can in fact go there and defeat that if he wants. He also has the real possibility of going back to Mire and defeating that, even though he knows it's a pendant. Looks like Mimic Cave was inside a Turtle Rock. Doesn't lead to anything important though. Okay, so that's a small key to Tower of Harris. So that's 2 different ways that Haunted Quest could get the GT key that he needs to go upstairs GT. The easiest one to get is in Meyer though, so and he's quite likely to go defeat Meyer for the 2 items versus going to the basement of Harris for the 1. As a matter of fact, he might be going to Misery Mire right now. Nope, he's going to the Dark World, so he is not. Nope, he's not going to the Dark World, so I don't know what he's doing. Oh, turning into Mushroom, maybe, it looks like? Meanwhile, it appears that NaMeFaKeR is not 100% sure where he wants to go next. NaMeFaKeR probably gonna want to do Swamp before too long, because there's a lot of items in there, and that seems like the best use of his time right now. First, he's gonna check Hookshot Cave, though. Which led to one of the logical pond small keys to get to the hammer, but I don't think it had anything else. And I'm starting to think that the Palace of Darkness big key might be in the Smith chain, but I'm not really sure. And it turns out a mushroom today only gets us a compass for some undetermined dungeon. Alright, so Haunted Quest is going to not going to Meyer. He's going back to Kakariko for something. This might be Big Bomb into Skull Woods for Haunted Quest now. I don't remember where the Pod Big Key is, but I want to say it's in the Smith chain. I could be incorrect though. Alright, so we're gonna get to see the Big Bomb. Haunted Quest, unfortunately, without the flute, is gonna have to take this the long way, which is a bit unfortunate. I mean, Haunted Quest is doing the most obnoxious kind of bomb route you can do at this point, which is walking it all the way across the world, even though we know the flute is available for it. I don't believe you can do Graveyard Ledge on foot with the Big Bomb, because you'd have to jump off a ledge. I believe that the worst one I actually saw was the one that required Aghanim 1 to get the Big Bomb, but also required you to walk it all the way from Dark Lumber. From Graveyard Ledge? Yeah, because it's a ledge. Oh, wait, never mind. I see what you're saying now. Just kidding. That is... I guess that's possible. That would be pretty bad. Yeah, I think that one qualifier is the worst one I've seen, though. With the hammer in the pyramid ledge, and you had to defeat Aghanim, and you had to get the bomb from Dark Lumberjack and walk it all the way down. Yeah. Alright, so Mothula is going to be a new check for us. Meanwhile, Swamp Palace is really not giving us anything of note. Well, except for this book, which opens up a couple more possibilities. NaMeFaKeR does not know which crystals are 5 and 6 because he did not talk to the bomb shop guy. Meanwhile, HauntedQuest is struggling a little bit with Mothula here. He's got the gold sword, which makes this a little bit easier, but you still gotta try to not take too much damage. But there we go, we got it at the last second. So the left side is Swamp, leading us to HauntedQuest City. So not really anything we wanted to do. Skullwood's not really giving HauntedQuest what he's looking for, but we know what he's looking for is upstairs GT. So I'm thinking at some point he's going to need to go back into Mire and get that small key for GT out of there. He'll probably kill Vitreous as well. Oh, except for he doesn't have the Mire big key, which I also don't remember the location of. Does anybody remember that one? So he's really only got the possibility of diving Mire just for the big chest or going to Hera just to do the basement, which both of which options are really terrible. And I really don't remember where either the Mire or the Pilot big keys are, so I don't know exactly what they either runner has to do to get to where the other one is. Alright, we're into Argus. So far, Swamp Palace has not given us anything but fetch quests. Oh, maybe this was where the Mire big key was, actually. I think this is where the Mire big key was. So that may drive HauntedQuest back to Mire to get his GT small key. But still don't remember where Pod big key was. I want to say Smith Chain, but I'm not sure, really 100% sure. Okay, so all we got out of Swamp was Fetch Quest City. We can check four new things out of Swamp, out of the stuff we got from Swamp. Oh, make it 5 actually. We can get the pedestal. Looks like a blind pull could be in order. I don't believe they've checked the entrance to Skull Woods yet, so that's another thing they could do. If you're going to the pedestal with all the items, you just pull it. You don't check it. He looks like he probably wants to combo checking the back of Skull Woods with it. Yeah, Mire Big Key, I remembered as soon as he walked in, that's where that was. So that's going to drive him towards his GT small key more than likely, which is good for him. Because he really needs to go upstairs to get that flute at some point. Spike Cave check? I don't think we've seen this yet. And we're going to check one of our fetch quest items as well, the Skullwood's Big Key. He needs the flute to get to the mire area to get the desert big key. Hey, left side swamp required for the ice rod, so there's that. So now he needs the flute in order to get the ice rod as well. Because the swamp small was on that molus. Is he actually going to read the pedestal before he pulls it? Okay, there you go, NaMeFaKeR. I was about to say. Got a blind pull. Well, we find out that the pedestal is logically required, but not practically required. The logic does expect you to get the key that he just pulled in order to defeat Skull Woods, but you definitely do not need it. Technical pedestal seeds, the best kind. So he can also defeat Trinex, and he can also check the 2 tablets at this point. Meanwhile, HauntedQuest probably really wants to get into Mire to get that small GT key, but he does have a few more things he can check, I think. Yep, all dungeons logically required, although you could have technically skipped a pendant or 2. Actually, you definitely could have skipped 2 pendants. Really, we don't know what's the hospital that has, so theoretically you could have skipped all 3, I think, because none of the bosses had. I think the pod big may have been in the Smith chain, but I'm not 100% sure. We will certainly find out eventually from NaMeFaKeR, I believe. If it's not the Smith chain, I honestly have no idea whatsoever. Alright, HauntedQuest's gonna check the back of Skull Woods, not gonna be able to pick up the pedestal at the same time. Really just needs to go back into Mire at this point, because I think he's up to the point where he needs to get the Desert Big Key in order to keep the rest of the seed going. And he may be doing that now. Meanwhile, we're getting Trinex on NaMeFaKeR's side. I do believe HauntedQuest is doing it. Yes, going back to Mire. Doesn't need to kill Vitreous, but he's pretty likely to do so. And Trinex goes down for NaMeFaKeR. Also, NaMeFaKeR definitely checked the big chest of GT or Turtle Rock as well. Now that you mention it, I remember because HauntedQuest had a bump jump to it, but NaMeFaKeR had the cane, so he had an easier time. So it's definitely not in there. Yeah, the 4th sword was in the big key chest of Palace of Darkness. An easy enough chest to isolate. Alright, HauntedQuest getting his small GT key, which he does not know, but is very good news for him. Actually, not gonna go defeat Vitreous, which is interesting. He could be feeling behind and thinking that the climb is his best idea to do. Getting a lucky magic drop there. Vitreous didn't have anything that we need. I think he knows that he can climb GT now and is feeling behind enough that that seems like an attractive option to him. A+ hint that I did not see the first time around. That's great. I think the NaMeFaKeR may be doing the Smith chain at this point. So he'll probably get the Palace of Darkness big key soonish, if I am correct about where it goes, or where it... And HauntedQuest doing the climb that he needs to get the Desert Big Key, the flute, and then ultimately the Desert Big Key. Yeah, they got the hint after they both checked left side mire, so it didn't matter at that point. Okay, so it definitely wasn't the Smith itself. I'm not sure if the purple chest had it. I really just don't recall. Palace of Darkness big key is... It's not really holding NaMeFaKeR back because we know that the Palace of Darkness big key is not further in the chain they're already in. But they are going to need to find it at some point. We are still missing the Aga Tower small key and the Hera big key, though. Interesting to note that the Thieves' Town big chest was isolated by both runners, so that could be one of the things that we need. Alright, so here comes purple chest from NaMeFaKeR, I believe. Meanwhile, HauntedQuest almost through the gauntlets and to their... well, they've got a few more rooms after the gauntlet too before they get to their flute. Okay, so I was definitely incorrect about where the Palace of Darkness big key is, and now I have no idea where it could be. Do not remember at all. I'm also not 100% sure where NaMeFaKeR is going right now. Spike Cave, potentially? Although, I feel like going to Flute 5 would have been the better way there. Oh, chess game, actually, which was nothing. Alright, so HauntedQuest finally getting to the items. Still needs to go to Aghanim 2 and get the flute from Uncle beyond GT. Meanwhile, NaMeFaKeR finding his nothing out of Spike Cave, and we'll see where he wants to go next. Alright, we're going to the Dark World, so I'm guessing Bombo's tablet time. Meanwhile, HauntedQuest is into the Aghanim fight and only a minute or so away from his flute, which will give him access to the Desert Palace Big Key and then ultimately access to the Ice Rod. Okay, looks like we found our Tower of Hera Big Key. So one more question mark. The only one left is the Aga Tower Small Key, which seems pretty likely to be in here at this point because we sure don't have a lot of other places for it to be. Also Ether Tablet and the Big Chest of Thieves Town. Feels like Palace of Darkness Big Key being missing on NaMeFaKeR's side means they may have skipped something. Because I feel like it wasn't this hard to get to. Alright, HauntedQuest gets their flute. Huh, he doesn't have silver arrows either. Where the heck were the silver arrows? Maybe he skipped an entrance and I just didn't notice. Oh, there's the final piece of the puzzle. We are in no mode, except for... Not really, because I don't remember where the Palace of Darkness Big Key is, so we're in sort of no mode, because we know that all the items are available. Oh, I think I finally remembered where the Palace of Darkness Big Key was. The Palace of Darkness Big Key is in the Dark Cross chest. Inside the castle. Do not remember where the silvers are, though. Dark Cross chest is a pretty easy chest to isolate, so that is kind of understandable. So HauntedQuest making his way to his Desert Big Key, but he has a ways to go before he gets the Ice Rod and the final pieces of the puzzle. Incidentally, this means that both of the items on the left side of Swamp were required, but none of the rest of Swamp was. Okay, so I finally remembered just before somebody confirmed it. Palace of Darkness Big Key is in fact in the Big Cross. So yes, both items on the left side of Swamp are required, but nothing in the back of Swamp is required. So you could have theoretically skipped both all three pendants. So now we're in real no mode because we actually figured out where the pod Big Key was. The question becomes, how long does it take NaMeFaKeR to remember that he has not done the Dark Cross chest? Because he's really running low on options, I think. Also, apparently forgetting that that was just a Palace of Darkness small key, but maybe he actually did that on purpose so he could... Oh wait, I don't know why I thought that was a GT small key. So he may have been wanting to check more Palace of Dark. Alright, HauntedQuest heading towards the Desert Palace Big Key. And it looks like NaMeFaKeR is doing the Ether tablets. Alright, there's the other Ice Palace small key. Not super helpful at all. Oh, nope, that's a Turtle Rock small key on Haunted Quest side. That doesn't do him any good. We're gonna go ahead and defeat Aghanim's Tower, it looks like, while NameFaKeR tries to think of what else he hasn't checked, I think. Meanwhile, Haunted Quest needs to defeat the Back of Desert to get on the path. We do know half magic because Haunted Quest has half magic. Looks like Haunted Quest is going... Oh, I think Desert's over here, so he's gonna get his small key, which... we saw the single arrow somewhere, but it's just the single arrow, so nobody cared enough to note where... I want to say Dark Cross is about the only thing that NameFaKeR has not checked yet. Well, no, obviously he hasn't checked whatever the silvers are at. Because I think he checked the rest of the castle besides the Dark Cross, so I don't know where the silvers are. Oh, Palace of Darkness, Dark Maze. That makes sense then, because he hasn't had a reason to go back to Palace of Darkness yet. He's trying to wait for the big key before he goes back there. At this point, he may, in fact, go to back to Palace of Darkness before he gets the big key. Wait, in the Dark Maze, he should have gotten those then, because he hammer yumped, I thought. Alright, Swamp small key for... well, he doesn't have them marked on his own tracker, so I don't think he has them. Also, they're not activated. Oh, Harmless Hellway. So he key choiced himself out of that, so yeah, that makes sense. Or no, he only went in with 2 keys, so he was never going to be able to get those anyway under those circumstances. But Swamp Small is good news for Haunted Quest because they can go get their book and their Skullwood's big key, which they need to get the Ice Rod and the Tower of Perry. Of course, they have to do left side, and they're going to end up doing the back of Swamp without needing to, but they don't know that. Probably. Well, we still have one small GT key. We don't know where it's at. So, technically speaking, no, we won't have full 100% on the tracker. If we don't find that key at any rate. I mean, I guess it's possible we run across it at some point, but as of right now, we don't know where it's at. Alright, so Haunted Quest making their way into Swamp. They need to do left side. They don't need to do the back, but obviously they're not going to know that, so they're probably going to do the whole dungeon. We are in no mode. We have to get the book and the Skullwood's big key out of Swamp left side for Haunted Quest to be able to get the Ice Rod and the Tower of Hera big key, which leads to the final Aga Tower key. And NameFaKeR needs to do what they're doing right now to get the Palace of Darkness big key, which will actually put them in go mode. So this is NaMeFaKeR's race to lose at this point, because this is going to be the final piece of their puzzle that they... Unfortunately, HauntedQuest has 2 fetch quests that he has to get off the left side of the swamp. And then he has to pursue those fetch quests, so he's got quite a chain in front of him. Looks like NaMeFaKeR's not super happy to see that key, but he is in go mode, so he has a few more steps to take, but he has less steps than HauntedQuest at this point. He is also going to be able to skip a good portion of pod, and also, well, not a good portion. He did a bunch of this, but he is going to end up skipping the silvers because they're in Harmless Hellway, and he now has no reason to go back. Also, forever leaving the butter sword behind in the big key chest. However, he has quite a lead at this point, so I don't think it's really going to harm him to have to do silverless and tempered sword. HauntedQuest looks like he went back before he went left, which is understandable, but he's going to need to go left because he needs both of the items on left side swamp in order to get what he needs. Meanwhile, NaMeFaKeR is well on his way to defeating Helmasaur, which will give him the big bomb and then access to Skullwoods. Alright, simultaneous boss fights. I think HauntedQuest will get theirs done slightly faster though. Alright, Argus is down. Helmasaur gonna go down right behind. Ganon is at the Lumberjack. So HauntedQuest, in addition to following these, going to the left side swamp to get the book and the Skullwoods big key, and then going to the Skullwoods big chest, and then going to the Bombos tablet, and then going to Hera, also has to defeat Aghanim. So he has a rather insurmountable chain of tasks in order to pull ahead here, which he will not be able to do. Also, okay, well, I guess that was interesting. I don't know if that was really a lot faster to get to the bomb, but works. Yes, that is correct. It was a Aga 1 required, Aga 2 hard required, and the pedestal was logically required, although you could get away with not doing any of the bosses for the pendants, because none of the bosses had anything that you actually needed. Logically speaking, this is the true all dungeon seed, with a required big bomb for good measure. Pedestal was a Skullwood small key, so required but not required. So this is the all dungeons must also get the big bomb logically seed. Alright, so NaMeFaKeR dropping into his final boss, and barring a total meltdown of his computer, will be in Ganon, unfortunately, ahead of HauntedQuest. HauntedQuest getting his 2 fetch quests off the left side of Swamp. That was the other thing, by the way. You had the big key of Skull on left side Swamp and the book on left side Swamp, with a required big chest Skullwoods for Ice Rod and a required Bombos tablet for Hera big key. So that's a little bit more of the meme dream right there. A doubly required fetch quest left side Swamp. It looks like HauntedQuest is going to go do Ether Tablet first, which is not the tablet he needs. Meanwhile, NaMeFaKeR has his 7 crystals, and now will be making his way to Ganon. Doesn't have silvers, but he does have everything else that he needs. We still never saw the final GT small key. I don't know where that could be, really. I guess somewhere in pod that we didn't see, maybe. Although I think we actually saw all the chests in there, so nope, I don't really know where. So HauntedQuest never had any other options besides going to Meyer to get that small key. Sahastra's item turning out to be nothing, as we already know. I am kind of intrigued, though, because technically we broke logic by skipping the 4th Ganon's Tower key. Oh, actually, it's probably in the Thieves Town big chest, now that I think about it. But I think that's just about the only damn thing we didn't check. Looks like HauntedQuest is going after their Ice Rod for real quick. Meanwhile, we are in phase 4 for HauntedQuest getting the for NaMeFaKeR getting the bad news that Silvers were in one of the dungeons. They got to go mode. They do have all the time in the world, though, to get Ganon down here. HauntedQuest still needs to go to the Bombos tablet, and then do Hera, and then do Aghanim. HauntedQuest is going to get there, interestingly enough, not pulling the pedal. I think we only have a few hits left here. I haven't been counting on. And meanwhile, HauntedQuest is going after their Hera big key, so that's gonna put them on the final path. Or not. Oh yeah, never mind, they are here. Alright, Ganon goes down on NaMeFaKeR's side. Get your GGs in chat. So we have NaMeFaKeR finish with an official SRL time of 3 hours and 46 seconds. HauntedQuest, understandably, gonna go ahead and forfeit. He still has a couple dungeons to do and did not want to finish that out. HCAT is Hyrule Castle and Aga Tower, respectively. It's two different keys that you can get. Two different types of keys.
Alright, so both runners both runners decided to skip the interview for today, so yeah. What a seat, Rezzy.
It was interesting. Had a lot of the memes everybody loves. GG to the runners. Give them a follow. And thanks to our trackers, Siberian and Sammy. Thanks for joining us. If Tresco doesn't have anything final to add, I guess we're good to go.
Wait. How do you know? No, just kidding.
I don't know. I'm asking. Do you?
If anything, just congrats to NaMeFaKeR for already making it to winner bracket round number 5. These two actually played a lot of matches already, so we gotta wait a little before NaMeFaKeR will have his next match, even before HauntedQuest will have his next match, because a few of the others need to catch up. There's still a few lower bracket round 1 matches to do. So yeah, we won't see these two for a little while. But yeah, shoutouts to you, man, for doing solo commentary again. If you are all interested in joining and helping with volunteering work, just to make this tournament better for everyone and give it more coverage, even more past the over 60 matches we already did, consider joining the Discord. And yeah, that's what I had to say.
I don't think I have anything particularly great to add to that, so I think we can go ahead and wrap it up at that point.
Alright,
thanks for... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was doing the outro pretty much.
Well, I think that's what I was about to do, but you're probably going to do a better one, so...
Alright, so from the both of us, thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed it here in ZSR2. If you want to watch more random action, we'll have the OTR Freaky Friday race in 55 minutes, some OT Beta Quest later in around 2 hours, and tomorrow, pretty much a lot of everything, including more from the Crossworld Keysanity tournament. Until then, thanks everyone for watching, and see you all later, or next stream.